Hello and welcome to the Godsplank Gardens. I've come here today to just talk a little bit about writing and how it can be used to, benefit people's lives really, because as we all are today, known to be on our phones 24/7, or should we say for the majority of the time. At least personally, I don't really like going on my phone using social media. I only use it for informational sources and communication, etc. Not playing video games, wasting my time swiping on TikToks, you know what I mean. So, because with this tool, should we say, of the phone, we've kind of lost touch with the intimacy of having a pencil or a pen and a piece of paper, because there's a hell of a lot of difference between not only typing in a phone, whether that's for whatever purpose it is for on the phone, but when you are on the internet, say you're looking for something, say you're trying to understand the problem which is going on in your life or something of the sort, it's very externalized, because you get a lot of people's opinions at once, and that can add way more stress than you wanted really, because I've had times where I've been wanting to figure out certain things, and whether that was something to do with relationships in my life, or whether that was to do with habits or addictions, that kind of stuff, right? Just general health kind of stuff. And this is how I believe it can help people, because when we only have, should I say, a relationship with mobile devices and just computers and televisions and toasters, we don't, as I said, we don't have a connection. We don't have an intimate connection with, I would say, it's an intimate connection with a piece of paper, but it really isn't. The piece of paper is just a tree. And what is a tree? It's a piece of paper isn't necessarily a living tree, but a tree is a living sentient being. And trees are kind of seen as something that, it kind of holds knowledge. And because of that, not only can you just go outside into the woods and simply sit with the trees and just meditate with the woodland and nature, you can almost gain a little bit more of a deeper insight to whatever you're trying to figure out. Or if you're not even trying to figure out anything, if you're just looking for some clarity within yourself, you can just literally go and meditate in the woodland. I find pine woodlands are way better than any other type of woodland for this. But anyways, that's beside the point. I don't know what this paper's made out of, but it's what I'm saying with the connection of, us to a phone is completely different to us to a piece of paper and a pencil, because like I was saying, there's no external thing or externalization to it, because it's just you. With a piece of paper, it's just you and a piece of paper and a pencil, because when you write something, it's not coming from a source outside of you. It's coming from you. It's coming from within you. So whenever you write something, that's how you fix the problem. Because say we're talking about addictions here, or any habit we want to change, or any habit we want to bring into our life, because making new habits is easier than breaking old ones. Old ones have got to fall away in the wake of new habits, better habits, ones that you're going to enjoy and know that they're healthy. like just writing on a piece of paper. I mean, I don't have a journaling practice, but whenever I have a problem, something I need to write down, or something where I'm just like, this could be useful writing down because it's coming from within me, or if I'm just writing down notes from a book or a YouTube video or something like that. Of course, that's external information, but it's come through yourself. It's come, say the camera is a external source of information, it comes to me, I regurgitate it onto the paper. So then it's come from me. It's not come from, well, all right, it has come from the camera, the external source, but because I've then taken in that information, it's then, like I said, regurgitated out, and the paper has recorded it. It has been recorded on a piece of paper. It's not just flown into your head, right? And just to add on some little small points, I believe that everyone's life would be way better if we just, like, say for instance, you wake up in the morning and you're just like, oh, what am I going to do today? Well, you get your piece of paper and you get your pen and you get your pencil and you go, well, what do I want to do with myself? And then, because you've just written that down, you can't go anywhere else. There's nothing else distracting you, you know? Because on TikTok, on things like YouTube, and especially YouTube Shorts, even though they can be used, obviously all this stuff can be used for the good, but because, you know, there's not, say if you're just watching a YouTube video, yes, you're taking it in, but there's all the other stuff what's going on YouTube, like the next video, because that's how YouTube is made. That's how the algorithm works. And I actually like use certain things on my computer so I don't get recommendations, so I can focus on the thing what I'm doing. Anyways, so for an example, as I've just written down, what do I want to do with myself? Well, for instance, for me, this is obviously going to be different from other people. This is why it's so personal, because when you go onto a phone, you get everyone else's opinions. You get everyone else's kind of like, oh, this is what I do, this is what blah, blah, blah. Because if you searched on a YouTube, what should I do with myself? You've just answered, you just asked the question to someone else. You just asked the question to an external source. Who have I just asked that question to? It's not gone anywhere. It's not gone into the external source of the internet. That question has just been written down on a piece of paper. So this is now reflecting me. So if I now write down, well, what do I want to do with myself? I want to be a gardener who grows his own, slightly retarded, own food and medicinal herbs. So there you go. There's no one else in the process of this. So when I now see this, I want to be a gardener who grows his own food and medicinal herbs, I can now relate to this as myself. I'm not looking into an external source to try and validate. External validation is something that's going to end you up in the far corners of the universe where you're going to get lost. And you're not going to find yourself, in a sense. So even if there's some people who have never done this before and you're watching this video, I strongly recommend you do this, because it's life-changing. And because I've written this down on the piece of paper, as I've said, it's come from me. it's validated within myself, I now look at this and go, yeah, that's who I want to be. That's what I want to do here. That's what I want to blah-de-blah-de-blah, you know? And say, for instance, this is linking it to, say you've got a problem, say you've got an addiction, right? This is really baseline stuff, what I'm going to do right now. But say you've got an addiction and just say, I want to, let's just use the word beat my addiction. I don't even have any addictions, but I've just written it down there. I don't have any addiction, but you know, that's the thing. I want to beat my addiction. And now I can reflect that from myself and go, I've just written that down. Now I can reflect that and go, okay, that's the information that's come from me. I want to beat my addiction. What this applies to in helping yourself within addictions is that's now something to reflect off, to go, well, where am I? What am I doing? Well, I want to be a gardener who grows his own food and medicinal herbs, and I also want to beat my addiction. So now I'm reflecting that. That's just becoming stronger within me. Compare that to a phone where, say this is a phone, you type in how to beat an addiction. Now all the things are going to come up, all the web pages or YouTube videos or Reddit forums and posts are going to come up, and they're going to come up, this guy, what Fred says about his addiction. Say he beat his addiction. Say he beat his addiction for drinking alcohol by meditation. But then you've got Sally, who beat her alcohol addiction by, I don't know, talking to trees. And then say you've got Bob, who beat his addiction by taking acid. So that's the kind of thing what you've got to look out for in when you're looking for an external source of information about certain things, because you might not get the right thing for you, because you aren't Bob, you aren't Sally, you aren't Fred, you are, well, who you are. In my case, I don't really need to write I want to beat my addiction, because I've beaten my addiction to whatever I was doing. And just for a reference, I've had quite a few negative habits, but it's about awareness, really. It's about unblocking yourself unblocking yourself through this, through, in a sense, you could call this shadow work, because it's going within yourself. It's going within your shadow, or whichever part you want to go in. And you will simply say, I'm not going to do it now, obviously. If I was going to go deep into myself and deep into my shadow and just seriously have a look at myself and go, what's going on, if I need to do that, I would write, and I have written, let's have a look here. Right here, I think this is one. I was talking about my thoughts and my emotions and how they relate to a certain thing, and how that relates to other things in reality, or life, should I say. And that's literally what I did. I did a whole page. And then on here, I've just got some reflections about what I think about certain things. So when that comes through, when you've channeled all that of yourself through onto the piece of paper, subconsciously or unconsciously, all that information has now been fed into your head. So it's the same thing with an external source. say again with the camera example, say the camera's a phone and I'm taking in the information. The information has come from an external source. Where's that come from? It's come from within. So as I'm writing it, and if I reread it, I'm going to, well, there you go. It's there. It's simple. You know, you just look at your soul on a piece of paper. Weird, actually, you know. What else? This can be used for, well, I wouldn't call them spiritual purposes. Obviously, that was a spiritual purpose, what I was just doing. It's going within yourself on a piece of paper. It's like meditation, but on a piece of paper, so you can get a little bit deeper, depending on what you're doing, obviously. For a bit more of a, is it? No, it's not holistic, is it? I really want to use the word manifestation, but I'm just gonna use the word, what should I use? I don't really know what word to use, to be honest. It's more, alright, I'm gonna use the word manifestation, but I just want you to know that the word manifestation can be jumbled up around in the YouTube community. What I mean by manifestation is what you bring in. Manifest means, like, say I've got this pencil, say there's no pencil here, right? Say I want to go and get a pencil. There's a pencil. I've just manifested a pencil into my existence. If I want to go and manifest some food, sure, to get this you need to go to the shop and etc, etc, but there you go. I just manifested some food. I just thought, I put the thought to it and went, okay, what do I want to do? I want to go get some food. What food do I want? Okay, I'm going to go get an orange. So I get up and go get an orange. There you go, there's a result. I've got an orange. It's the term manifest and manifestation isn't a mystical thing, really, although it is quite a deep word. It's, well, it's just manifesting something into existence, like I said. So how this can come into writing, well, say for instance, well, I've already written it down here. I want to be a gardener who grows his own food and medicinal herbs. So how to expand and give this more energy to bring it into existence? Well, what do you want to grow? You know, what food do I want to grow? Well, I want to go write it down as well, so I, you know, it comes into me, from within to me. You know, I'm just, so I want to write that I want to grow squashes. Why do I want to grow squashes? Because I want to make this certain recipe, or etc, etc. You know, that it can deepen the thing. So I want to grow potatoes. Potatoes, yeah, I spelled that right. I want to grow tomatoes. So there you go. I've just reflected what I want, or what I want to bring in, what I want to manifest, or just what I want to do myself, or just creation. I've just created it there. Now, as long as you stay to this, and as long as you keep to your goal, this has just deepened the connection. Deepened? Expanded? Quadrupled? Yeah. It's just brought you closer to what you want. And even if you think that, say for instance with me, I really want a car because I really want to go driving around the UK. I really want to go into other countries and just do stupid shit with a car. But yeah, that's what I want to do. So I've probably already written down I want a car and this is why I want it. This is you know, it's being specific with it, putting the energy out there. Because way back in the day, when I was, I don't know, 20 or something like that, I wanted a car, but there was no thought behind it. There was no energy behind it. I just said, oh, I want a car so I can go drive around in it. And then I started going, okay, well, which car do I want? There you go. So you go, what car do I want? Deepening the process. And then from back in the day when I was 20, I was like, oh, well, I might like a Mercedes Benz because it looks nice and it drives nice, etc., etc., and it's got a big engine in it. Now, because I've done some more writing and gone deeper into myself, I've gone, okay, what do I want a car for? Okay, so I obviously want to go traveling. I want to go into cool places, whether that's meaning it needs to go off-road. So I obviously can't whip a Mercedes Benz down Shelley Drive. So I obviously want an off-roader. So what kind of off-roader do I want? You know what I mean? I'm just getting deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper into what I want, into the creation. And this is the same thing with, well, if you're just creating art and you're going deeper and deeper and deeper into the story, you're just creating and creating. This is why I think paper is so powerful, or writing is so powerful, because say for instance, even in a song, say I write a song about, I don't know, squashes, potatoes and tomatoes, and how nice they are, and how I believe they can help people to realise that they've been eating shit for for their whole lives. The fact that I've just written that down on the paper, regurgitated it out of me, and then read it, received it, now that I'm reading this out, it is words, it is thoughts, and they all have energy. So now that I've written down my art, I've written down my music, and then now when I start singing this out and acting it out, well, the thing what I just said, in a sense, becomes true. Because if I've said, yo guys, eat squashes, you're all obnoxious, that kind of stuff. I'm not, you know, the off-the-top freestyler, but I can do a little bit. But you get the idea. If I writ it, all right, we're back. So obviously to do this kind of stuff, you probably need to write a few bars first, but not to boast, I'm not boasting. But as I was saying, as I've now written down a 4 bars, I've said you need to eat squashes, not crisps, bruh. You need to eat squashes, not crisps and sausage. All that junk is toxic. Stop being obnoxious. You know, I'm putting a message out there to go, well, we need to do something better. That was the first line, so the energy is coming to that. Not crisps and sausage. Okay, I'm going into writing songs here, but this is a part of it. Not crisps and sausage. That's the comparison, the other motive, the thing that we want to block out. So I've, in a sense, given the squashes more power, and I've said to the sausage, bugger off. And why? Because it's toxic. So can we all stop being obnoxious? And I want to just abbreviate on why I've written this, is because of the energy I've put into it, right? So the energy you put into whatever you write is the energy you're going to get out of it. So if I now make a song about this, obviously 4 bars isn't enough to make a song, but you need to eat squashes, not crisps and sausage, or that junk is toxic, so stop being obnoxious, you know, etc., etc. The energy with that is me trying to elevate people's consciousness into eating better. So therefore, that is what I created. a couple of years ago, about 5 or 6 years ago, I also wrote on one of these pieces of paper, I want to be a cool lyricist. There you go. There's proof it works. But yeah, it is that. That is how powerful writing is. Not only in art forms, in, you know, that kind of stuff. It can be powerful towards affecting other people, but within that art, within that writing, there's energy. And just to abbreviate on this energy, you need to eat sausages. Do we need to eat sausages? You need to eat squashes. Not sausage. You need to eat squashes. And the energy with that is, I want to, in a sense, elevate people, or myself, to eat more squashes. So that I'm going to follow my own instruction because I just write it down. And the energy with it is, I don't know how to call it. The energy is enlightenment, it's wisdom, you know? If I was to write something negative on here, like, I hate blah de blah de blah, I'm then going to bring that energy back into myself. Not only from just putting it out there, it's coming straight back into me. So if I go, I hate, or that kind of stuff, and just bring negative energy into the piece of paper, I'm bringing negative energy into myself, from myself. And that's how, well, that's how it's so powerful. You need to have a consciousness about it. It's the same thing with thoughts, because if you constantly think negative thoughts, you're going to end up in some negative way. And I'm not trying to diss people who are in a negative place, right? I'm not trying to say, oh, you're thinking negative thoughts, you muppet. No, I'm not doing that. I'm saying that just add one positive thought to your day, right? Whether that's, you know, say you got up early this morning and you had a nice cup of tea, right? And then you write it down. I felt at peace when I drunk a cup of tea this morning. Now that's going to reflect back at me, and I'm going to see that because I've just regurgitated it, and now I'm reading it. I now know that I feel at peace when I drink a cup of tea in the morning. So that's going to reinforce that activity, that habit. So I'm going to go, well, maybe, you know, when you've got all these negative thoughts going around and you're like, oh, where's all the peace? It's all chaos and all that kind of stuff. Well, there you go. Just write one thing down. What brings you peace? What brings you a more positive thing? What you need? What you want? And then there you go. I just did it for myself. And this is how powerful it is. And that's how it comes into manifestation as well, because you're bringing that energy in. And if we want to say that everything is energy and everything is vibration, well, when I say I feel at peace when I drink a cup of tea, I've now linked peace to drinking a cup of tea. And that's that energy. So I'm now bonding myself with that energy. Coming back to, if you were going to write about, you know, I don't even have a perspective of this because I've never done it before. But if you were going to write about some person or something in a really negative way, in just giving it that energy where it's going to be, where it drags you down. As soon as you write that down, as soon as you say them words, as soon as you think those thoughts, that energy is circulating. And now it's coming back to you. Whatever you put out comes back to you, as within, so without. And so, for instance, say when you think you're in a negative place, there you go. you're in a negative place. So this is why it's so powerful to change your life, because say you go, oh, I'm in a negative place. I want to be in a more peaceful environment. Well, there you go. As I was writing that then, I was thinking thoughts about a more peaceful environment. How can I make a more peaceful environment? Maybe I want to remove some people out of my environment. Maybe I want to do different things in my life. Maybe I don't want to listen to someone else, what someone else is saying and what they're telling me to do. And because of that, that's draining my energy. And now, because I've gone, oh, well, now because I've written the intention down, I want to be in a more peaceful environment, I've now thought about peace. I brought that energy into my environment. So what do I like about a peaceful environment, etc., etc.? Well, I just want to relate this because I think about this all the bloody time. When it's summer, it's currently winter right now, so I'm in chaos. No. When it's summer, and I've got all my plants growing around me, maybe they're in pots, blah, 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 everything's blooming, the flowers are everywhere, bees are flying about, all that warmth is coming everywhere, that kind of stuff. It's in my head, I'm feeling it, it's me, I'm putting that energy out there. And because I like to just lie down on the lawn around all my plants and just meditate, that it gives me some sort of energy. So that the more powerful the energy is, the more powerful the intention is going to be. Same thing with the other way around, but we're not going to do that because you know what I mean. So if you're now thinking, okay, so how do I get into this peaceful environment? Well, as I've just said, when you say I want to be in a more peaceful environment, your brain's going to start thinking, your consciousness is going to start thinking, okay, peaceful environment. What's peaceful environment to me? Well, to me, it's sunlight. To me, it's... Right, I just had a battery shortage there. But as I was saying, I'm just adding things to the list, sunlight, good relationships, etc., etc. This is now being reflected to you because, in a sense, this is your reflection. You've just reflected onto a piece of paper. So now this is going to reflect into your reality. Now you're going to seek out more sunlight. You're going to seek out more loving relationships. You're going to seek out whatever you want because you've just written it down. You're giving it energy. Where your attention goes, energy flows. So if I put my intention towards peace, towards sunlight, towards loving relationships, it's going to grow. That's how it can change your life. Thanks for watching. Hope you're having a nice day. Love you. Peace and joy, enlightenment, awareness.